Hey, what's going on, y'all? I just came to do like a quick review of the current 73 chapters of Bleach that came out that I pretty much read 2 days ago, and I just want to talk about it. I want to be honest about it. Unlikely from a lot of people on this platform is, and pretty much I just wanted to say pretty much the more or less Bleach 73 chapters kind of got me feeling mixed, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I mean, it was made to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Bleach, which is cool. And it was also, made to be a one shot, which makes it kind of odd how it was written towards the end, with them obviously setting up for a possible future arc, pertaining to Hell, which I'll get into later about in terms of world building and the plot progression going on with the 73 chapters. Um, so pretty much, yeah, like in terms of the art style and illustration, Tite Kubo brings, his A game with it. And especially with the background, which has always been a thing. For some reason, I never understood why people always, didn't like Bleach for its lack of backgrounds. Although, if you actually read a lot of mangas, you'll realize that there's always been a lack of backgrounds, and Bleach is literally no exception. And pretty much, it can literally still cover it up because, especially with this one, the backgrounds are like really well illustrated and they're really obvious. So pretty much, I never thought figure out the hubbub because a lot of animes, a lot of mangas usually always have absent backgrounds, and pretty much when Kubo actually does introduce them in his mangas, they're usually always on point. So yeah. In terms of the story, of course, they're leading up for a new threat, new arc, and of course, again, the spoilers. But yeah, of course, it's about pretty much the Soul Society more or less sending their deceased squad captain souls or their spirit pressure into hell because it was revealed that spiritual beings of a high intense spiritual pressure, captains being in that fray, of course, aren't allowed to more or less aren't allowed to more or less disintegrate like usually souls usually do and become reishi and resurrect in the human world because their spiritual pressure is so dense that it would actually literally destroy the fabric of reality, and therefore to contain it, their soul contain it, they had to go through a specific more or less ritual for their souls to be sent to hell so it wouldn't ruin the world of the living. So pretty much already we get a piece of world building with Bleach with this with with you know uh I'm trying to get the words out. We get a hint of world building in Bleach with that alone, and pretty much Hell pretty much serves as a sort of phantom zone for the Soul Reaper, so to speak. Like Superman, all the shit he had a hard time struggling with, he just threw it in the Phantom Zone. And pretty much Hell serving in Bleach is also kind of works in the same way. Um, and although I do like, the plot progression they have and, them finally flushing out Hell, because Hell has always been a thing in Bleach. It existed, but it never really had a lot of emphasis put into it. But nowadays, if they do something with it, it might be finally flushed out. But just one thing I have wrong with this overall story of this is that a lot of things just got me like questioning things. Like a lot of things were missing, a lot of things were never really explained. And Kubo's really infamous for, never really actually flushing out things. You can end things, but you can never really flush them out, so to speak. And the 73 chapters is literally a victim to that. Like, like they show all the like most of the captains like on the front cover, and you might expect them to be there, but none of them really show up. Like they explain that Udahara is still alive, put the whole theory of him dying to rest, but we never see him. Uh, for Elisa Yodomaru, the girl who used who used to be on the Shunsui, his former lieutenant, now she's a captain. She's introduced as a lieutenant, and pretty much we don't see her. Like, I feel like a lot of characters, that were established were never shown. And that's pretty much one of the main problems with this one shot. A lot of things are never really flushed out. A lot of things are never explained, but yet they expect you to just understand it. And pretty much also, it never seems like it never properly ended, so to speak. Like, they mention they're alive, but they're never really shown in this, and that just brings up a lot of continuity issues with this. So yeah, there's just one of my pet peeves with these 7 chapters. Like, obviously this is meant to be like, the average manga length, but considering, this is more like a commemoration thing, they want to keep it brief, let's get people to keep watching. Because, if Bleach is continuing, that obviously just means that, Shounen Jump news that it's still profitable. I mean, it's all about business near the end of the day. Honestly, I wish they actually focused more on Reverse London, but I guess this somewhat means it's coming back. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it is, but it has to be, because with a really kind of honestly underwhelming ending to this chapter it has a lot of explaining to do. And quite frankly, if there was no like spinoff or continuation, to be more exact, then it just makes it seem a lot more underwhelming. But things not explained, things obviously being set up but never really going anywhere. On that part, they finally explain the more origins about the Hell Butterflies. The Hell Butterflies in Bleach has always been, an anonymous thing, and simply, I guess the Soul Reaper just used them to their advantage while really actually diving deep into what they were. In terms of the tone, you always have your quirky but, drastic thing going on, which has always been in Bleach fashion. And pretty much also the Soul Society is experiencing change. Is also experiencing change with, their technology, being repurposed. And they say that Udahara's playing a scene in that, but we don't see him. I mean, such an integral character like that, we should actually see him. The molested kid characters are pretty much what you expected. They're obviously there for the younger audience. Ichigo obviously has a crush on Kazui, but who the fuck didn't see that coming? And it also kind of has this really modern tone, which might actually date this series. More or less, it might be going down the Gintama route, sticking with jokes of only its time, and it's going to make it seem dated as shit. Especially, the whole talk of social media and literally selfies being in this manga. It just makes it seem like, yeah, this is not going to age well. Just like that Death Note one shot. It's not going to age well with its Orange Man bad Trump bashing jokes. Like, already it seems dated by that standard. And this might be a victim of it with the whole modernization thing, because sometimes it obviously is made to cater towards the original purpose teenage audience, and that might bring a lot of that kind of one thing was kind of like pulling at my chain when I was looking at that. No pun intended. Sayopero, the pink hair espada, the one who had literally one of the most infamous deaths in the series. He's apparently back, and he's a warden of hell, because I guess he was so powerful that to send his soul to hell too, to keep it from resurrecting on Earth. So yeah, there's that, which was actually kind of a hell of a surprise, because I heard in the light novels he actually comes back only for Kenpachi to kill him. And if the light novels are even canon anymore, this might be his 3rd time. Meaning, this motherfucker can't die for real, and he's definitely the El Degoro of Bleach. Just like El Degoro, that nigga just wouldn't die for shit. I mean, aside from that, that was obviously member berries, him coming back, and them hinting that Ukitake is probably also corrupted and in hell now too, because we see his sword literally stab him and pull him back in. And obviously Kazui's he's Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite now because he can do tears, apparently, because he can. It seems like he can open hell in Soul Society and whatnot. So yeah, there's that a lot. Like that was also hinted, at the end of Bleach when he touched the remnant of Juhal Balk and it dissipated. So yeah, like these are like a lot of things. Of course, they need to tie up if this ever gets a continuation. If not so, then it's going to be feeling really underwhelming. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. I mean, I'm going to have to give this an adequate. It's not bad. It's not terrible. I didn't hate it. And I really did enjoy seeing, Bleach back in syndication again, if any, of any, spectrum, this one being one of them. But I just feel like there was a lot of answers that weren't questioned. A lot of things that just seemed like, hey, didn't they establish that in the last chapter? Well, like, why doesn't he just go have his two swords? Why he got one? Like, I need answers. Like, obviously, there's a lot going for this, and 73 chapters is not enough to explain the bare minimum. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about it, man.